Now, whenever you're buying a car with a lien on it, it can seem intimidating, but here are some of the steps that I take to make sure that the process goes very, very smooth. First off, I literally investigate the seller. It isn't inappropriate or weird. It's what we do in 2025. I put their name in Google. I put their name in Facebook, and here recently, ChatGPT 5 allows you to look into people, not do a background check, because literally ChatGPT will tell you they're not allowed to do a background check. But I told ChatGPT 5 that I am buying a car from this individual, and if it could provide any information about this individual to make the transaction more successful. And it did. It gave me a lot of information. It told me that the individual played sports, where they went to school, where they live, all this information. And then I was able to get all that data and compare it to the information that the seller is providing. And if there's some consistency, I'm already building trust and I'm feeling more confident about the sale. Now, before you do anything, before you get banks involved and you start talking about account numbers and payoffs and all this, you need to make a sales agreement. And what I like to do is I like to write everything out that we're talking about, all the particulars, how much we're buying a car for, the loan amount that's being paid off. Whenever I pay off the loan amount, that I'm going to get the title, any extra parts, anything that is part of the transaction needs to be in that sales agreement. But the most important part is that you need to have it notarized. And what we do is when we write our sales agreement, we have it notarized where we're at. And if we're dealing with the seller that is out of state, or we're just doing it all through the internet, we ask them to get their part notarized as well. And so what happens is that both parties have a notarized form, and then we upload digital copies of that, so we both have each other's notarized forms, and then we send off the actual hard copies through snail mail, so we have both a digital form and a hard copy form. Once you've established that, now you have a notarized form and sales agreement of what you're buying, how much you're paying, and at that point in time, you could proceed to the next part, which is going to be paying off their loan and also paying them whatever equity they have. So typically in the age of 2025, liens are going to be recorded electronically and titles are also going to be recorded electronically. And what that means is usually whenever you pay off a vehicle, most states are going to give you a physical copy like this. But if you have a lien on the title, it's usually going to be held electronically. When you're going to be buying this car, you have to pay off the loan. And there's different ways you could do it, but one of the ways you do not want to do it is give the seller the money and have them pay off the loan. You want to pay off the loan directly. So one of the first things you're going to want to do as far as the bank is ask the seller to call the bank and see what type of process they have as far as paying off the loan whenever they're selling it. Every bank is different. One of the common ways is that you're going to pay the bank directly. You're going to get a payoff request. You're going to get all the information, and then you're going to wire the money to the bank. And then once they get that amount of money, they're going to go ahead and clear the loan. But here's the part that is very unique to every bank, and you need to know this. Where does the title go to? A lot of the banks send a title to the person who's paying off the loan. That doesn't mean the seller, that means you. Other banks send the title to the seller, and then it's the seller's job to send the title to you. It is very important for you to understand what process you're going to be encountering. I like the first one where I pay off the loan and the bank sends me the title. Whenever the process is that the seller gets the title, I start to get worried. Unless you have a lot of confidence that this person is not going to take the title and give you problems, then you need to make sure that you're dealing with the bank that is sending the title to you once you pay off that loan. Now, simultaneously, you're going to have to pay off the loan, but you're also going to have to send the remaining, the equity, to the seller. So you need to make sure you have all these numbers hashed out. So at this point, you should be either getting the title from the bank or you should be getting the title from the seller. What you've done is you have a bill of sale, which is notarized, and you've also paid off the loan directly, so the bank knows that you paid off the loan, and then the seller has been paid the equity, and now the title should be coming at any point in time. Now you could actually be making arrangements to pick up the car in person or through transportation. Now, at any point in time, if you feel uncomfortable walk away. And the reason why I say this is because these particular situations require both parties to be professionals and both parties to be willing to do what they say they're going to do. And what I mean by that is if communication is off, if people are slow to respond to messages, and if you just don't feel good about it, regardless of how good the deal is, you need to walk away. The most important part is that whenever you're buying a car, you're actually buying the seller. So no matter what you're doing, you always want to make sure that you're dealing with professional people. It doesn't matter if you've been waiting for this car for a long time, or if it's the perfect spec, or it's the great price. And let me tell you, once you wire money to someone, and if you made the wrong choice, that money is gone. On top of that, if you pay off somebody's loan and you don't have a notarized documentation, you don't have their name, their address, their phone number, if you don't have pictures of them, social media references, as far as like you could see them on Instagram, Facebook, wherever, if you don't have any of that information, you're allowing yourself to be exposed to a possible scam. So just make sure you do your due diligence. Most of the time, people are good and they're willing to do good business, as most people are. Just make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. All right, guys, I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button and let me know how your deal went.